Tolling, it's been around as long as there have been roads, and why not? You build a road and people want to walk on it, you ought to charge them some money. But in a modern age, tolling is becoming problematic for fleets. There's congestion, there's productivity issues. I'm Jack Roberts with Heavy Duty Trucking, and today on this episode of HDT Leadership Insights, we're going to talk about the rise in truck tolling and how new technology can help fleets mitigate this new problem. This episode is sponsored by and produced in partnership with PrePass, which has just introduced a new GPS-enabled toll verification service. Before we dig in, remember to follow us on social media and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And today we're talking with Chandler Love. He's Senior Product Marketing Manager with PrePass. How are you today, Chandler?
Great. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing well. So am I right about that? And this is just from my perspective as an HDT editor. It seems like we're always posting news stories about new tolling, and it's not just the use of the road anymore. We're seeing it for pollution mitigation, maybe cutting down on emissions in city centers. We're seeing it for noise mitigation. And, my old joke is that, once the local government tells you, oh, we're just going to put the toll in place until the bridge is paid for, but it seems like that toll booth never goes away. So obviously PrePass sees this as something that was worthy of attention, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely something we want to help with. It's something that we see, and that's why we provide our tolling services. We definitely specialize in the larger trucks, but it's very important to see that there are a bunch of different sizes of trucks out there. And we also have all kinds of consumers who are traveling along those roads. And those need to be maintained by the city, right? And the charging of tolls is an obvious way to fund those services, and we also see that from tolling authorities. Those cities are using those monies to also generate tolls through other transportation programs. And that's something that we're closely watching. A good example of that is the Pennsylvania, Turnpike is a good example of maybe some toll concerns out there. In 2019, the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission approved a 6% toll rate increase, which drove the costs to travel the east to west length of that turnpike to $422 per trip for a truck. Yeah. So major costs there that we want to make sure our customers are aware of and be able to have that visibility into. Again, this came from that Pennsylvania legislation. It was Act 44 and Act 89, where the Turnpike Commission there in Pennsylvania said it was forced to raise those toll rates for 11 years straight. And so that's something that we'll continue to see as we go forward. And truckers who travel through that interstate, primarily in the rural areas, are burdened with those high toll costs because of that urban mass transit, project that they're working on. And the revenue, just to look at in general, that Turnpike has received was $450 million, which is 37% of their total revenue there. And I'm getting those numbers from ATRI and the excellent work they do there. But it's something that, again, we're here to help fleets be proactive and be able to continue to help their businesses thrive, especially for those that are involved with, toll roads.
So what we're talking about here are significant increase in finances for just day-to-day operations for fleets in an environment like that. And that's assuming if the tolling is accurate. But we've got vehicles rolling into a highly chaotic situation. The pressure's on to get through the booth. You don't want to be the guy holding up traffic behind you. Chaos seems to be sort of the standard operating procedure there. And another thing, my understanding is you learned, is that there is a lot of toll inaccuracies out there. Fleets are getting charged and for vehicles for mistaken tolls all the time. And fraud is a real issue too, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And granted, right, you have to look at the system of what we have, and different authorities have different technologies, and even down to the transponder that's in the vehicle, which would tag to know if a truck or vehicle is going through that toll agency. So there can be anomalies, and there's things that you want to be aware of, just to ensure you're getting the accurate price, right? And the agencies, they're not out there to gouge you. They're trying to collect their portion of what they think is fair as well. So obviously there's going to be some discrepancies, and that's where PrePass really comes in to make sure you have that visibility into what you're getting as far as those costs, and you can plan ahead to be able to be more profitable within your business.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your new service that does just this. How does it work? When you talk to a fleet about it, what kind of advantages are you pitching? And just, out in the real world in this very chaotic environment I just mentioned, how does PrePass help sort of bring order to this chaotic situation?
Yeah, great, great. PrePass has been around for a while, right? And we continue to innovate on what we're providing for our fleets. At its basic level, we help you manage your toll cost, right? So we provide transponders. We have a mobile app which will, be able to collect information in the terms of GPS coordinates to be able to validate whether or not those charges that you're getting from those agencies are the accurate price. Was there a mismatch? Did the transponder not read? Did you get charged a max toll when a vehicle left that tolling road early? Those are things we're looking for, and we're trying to give visibility to our customers to be able to know and be aware of those costs to be able to plan better.
And you guys aren't just selling hardware and tracking numbers. You guys are actually partnering with your fleet customers because, again, particularly on the Eastern Seaboard, or I guess on the Western Coast as well, this is a real operational issue. And my understanding is you guys, in talking to fleets out there, have discovered they need help sort of getting a strategy together and dealing with tolls in a way that makes sense operationally, correct?
Correct. Yep. And that's our motto. We want to partner with our customers. We want to solve their problems, and we want to be aware of what they're going through. That will help us build a better solution for them, right? And be able to help their businesses be successful.
So what do you talk to when you're talking with customers? What are some of the biggest issues that they encounter? And I definitely want to circle back to fraud because I think a lot of people don't understand that is. I was really shocked the last time I talked to you to discover that it's a pretty easy way for people to make an end run out of their own, paying their own tolls out of their own pockets.
Yeah, great question. To begin with, it's important to know where you're at. And we talked a little bit about the increase of tolls and how that will continue to be a trend. And that's the first step, is knowing where you're at and where you want to be as a business, right? Again, these costs affect your bottom line, and having awareness and visibility into maybe what parts of your business are more expensive than others, or certain areas where you're operating, is what's going to help you be successful. So that's the major things that we're always working with, is ensuring how can we help you be more effective or efficient with the costs and investments that you have and the assets that you control, right? And going down to the fraud piece of it, that's a separate piece of, once you have an understanding of what is happening within your business, it's also checking to ensure, is that what you're expecting? Meaning, are there cases where fraudulent activities happening? Are there trucks out there that you weren't aware of that are racking up a bill in your behalf? Those are things that obviously you want to track down and make sure you have a good handle of, and be able to be confident in what you're seeing, so then you can forecast and be more successful into the future.
What's the adoption of pre-pass technology like on the fleet side? Is there a lot of training involved for fleet managers? They telematics, they've got so much information coming in now. A lot of times it can be hard to determine what's important to track. And what about driver training or anything along those lines?
Yeah, to be honest, we make it dead simple. Our big focus are on the transponders, making sure you have the right one in the vehicle according to how you run your operations. From there, we're going to get you the best price, right? And having that installed in the vehicle is really all you need. And the driver can go about its way, going in the routes that they've planned. And then from there, we're able to analyze through our website and show you really some insights into what that toll activity looks like, right? So it's both proactive and reactive planning to really make sure you're up and running. But I would say definitely, from an ELD standpoint or telematic service provider, this is for everyone. And it's very simple. And it's something that we can set you up quickly to make sure you're being successful going into the different toll costs that you're seeing out on the road.
And I guess the way we've been talking about this, we've been talking about urban congestion, Eastern Seaboard. Of course, a lot of fleets are national, super regional, and I know that you guys, of course, with weigh stations, you do a lot of pass-through technology as well there. So, is this just a city by city solution, or can you guys offer national solutions for fleets as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we have national coverage. We are a truly integrated provider for both tolls and weigh station solutions. That's exactly what we provide. It's a one-stop shop. It's very easy for us to get you set up and have that national coverage wherever you may go or wherever you may expand to. That's something that we're always here to support our fleets with and make sure they're successful in their business.
So, Chandler, another aspect of this is just operational. You could have fleets that are avoiding toll roads because they don't want to get caught up in the congestion. They don't want to pay the money. And of course, we all know that technology, we're seeing the rise of electric vehicles, we're seeing the rise of autonomous vehicles. It seems pretty obvious that in the future there will be some sort of a fee associated with specialized vehicles using specialized lanes or roads, parts of egress and ingress into cities. What are you guys seeing on that front?
Yeah, good question. I think just in general, right, electronic tolling has helped remove some of the congestion, right? Gone are the days where you're having to wait and pay in cash in certain places, and that's really helped the flow of traffic and be more successful. Talking to the autonomous side, obviously, there's many opportunities to be able to dial in that efficiency, right? And that's what we want to keep tabs on and ensure that from a congestion standpoint, we're being efficient. I would say on the electric side, that's still to be determined how that is looking. We're seeing different cities which have some discount plans, but when you're talking from a fleet standpoint, there hasn't been a large adoption from that piece just yet. But again, it's important to be aware of the cost and the opportunities at hand when those do become relevant and feasible for you as a business to take advantage of, right? And that's where we'll be there every step of the way to ensure that you have that visibility into those costs or opportunities and be able to thrive as a business going forward.
Yeah, it just seems all the indicators looking at, subjectively looking at the industry are this is going to be a continuing thing, and it's not going to ease up as new technology and new types of vehicles come online. It's just, in fact, it's going to be baked into the equation, I would think, going forward.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to assume, right? And then you kind of look at the challenge of billing for all those different discount plans and vehicles, right? And that's where today PrePass really provides that value of combining all the different tolling invoices into one. And you can get that through us to be able to also apply the discounts that's provided to be able to get the best price and to know what you're paying for and be able to not have to hire staff or additional administrative burden to track down what you need to pay for when it comes to those invoices or those different discounts or vehicles that you're experiencing on the toll roads today.
So you guys are just using technology to streamline operations. That's kind of the bottom line at the end of the day, isn't it?
Definitely. Yep. We're here to help our customers be more efficient and be able to have the transparency they need to be successful.
So we've got a fleet out there just watching us somewhere, and they say, "I need to do something about this. I need to get started." Uh, do they reach out to you? What kind of questions or information would you like them to have available so that they can start a discussion and begin to make progress on this issue?
Yeah, definitely. We'll start with your fleet size, depending on the size that you have, right? It's as simple as reaching out on our website. We have a lot of different online forms you can sign up with on our website, as well as give us a call, right? We want to make sure we're tailoring our solution to your needs, and that's what we focus on. So as far as, what do you need to get started? Obviously know where you're currently at as far as the cost that you're seeing, which I'm sure you're aware of, and the number of trucks that you have, and we'll get you going. As simple as that.
Final thoughts, anything you want to add? I mean, obviously, this is not a problem that's going to mitigate over time. Again, we see increased stories every day, new tolling everywhere. And I would argue, I would assume that if this is something in the back of your mind, it's probably going to move to the front of your mind sooner or later, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And I think, it may be hard looking at it year over year. You're seeing these average marginal costs per mile slowly increase. And again, we're talking in some cases, 0.03, cents of the dollar, but that really adds up incrementally, especially at scale. And that's what I want everyone to realize is that yes, there you may see these, lower dollar amounts trickling in, but at scale and over year, you're seeing those increase. It's important to have visibility into what that means. And more importantly, what's needed to change in your business to ensure you're successful in the future and you're not finding these costs completely diving into your bottom line, right? And that will just help you stay in business and be able to be successful going forward. And that's what we provide at PrePass is visibility into those costs, into what you're getting from your toll services that you're providing, and be able to have confidence that you're going to be successful going forward.
So what's the call to action? What should a fleet do if they're watching this? Is the easiest thing just to get on the PrePass website? What do you recommend?
Yep, highly recommend that. Yep, get on the website, reach out to us in the different avenues that we have available there, and we'll make sure to get you going.
Well, there you go, folks. Modern technology tackles tolling, one of the oldest revenue raisers on the books out there in the transportation issue. Our thanks today for Chandler Love. Appreciate you sharing your expertise with us today.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.